Welcome back, guys, to Mathematical Mindset. So we're going to talk about the topic called simple interest. Simple interest is a method of calculating the interest on a sum of money based on the original principal amount, the rate of interest, and the time period. And the formula for simple interest is given as SI equal to P times R times T over 100. And each of these has a meaning. Okay? Now, whereby we have that SI represents simple interest, P represents the principal, which is the original amount of money, R represents the rate of interest per year, which is in percentage, and we have T, which represents time in years. So alright guys, let's take a look at some example question right here. So we have a question here that says, if you invest 10,000 naira at an interest rate of 5% per year for 2 years, the simple interest is, so we are asked to calculate the simple interest, and we have that SI is given as P times R times T all into 100. Okay, so we have this. And from our question, we know that P is equal to, we said if you invest 10,000 naira, so this is the principal amount, we have it to be 10,000. And right here, R, which represents the rate, is 5% per year. So we have this to be 5%. Then the time, which is 2 years, we have this to be 2 years. Okay? So putting this into this formula, we have that SI is equal to P, which is 10,000, times rate, which is 5, times T, which is 2, all into 100. And this is going to give us, this is going to cancel out this we cancel out this, and we have this to be 100 times 5 times 2. And with that, we know that SI is equal to 100 times 5 times 2 is going to give us 1,000. Okay, so we have this to be 1,000 naira. So we know that the interest for that question is 1,000 naira. So this is how you can easily solve simple interest. So let's take a look at another example question. Alright, so we have this example question here that says, a man invests 15,000 naira in a bank that pays 8% simple interest per annum. How much interest will he earn in 3 years? So we are asked to calculate the interest that this man is going to earn in 3 years if we invest 15,000 naira in a bank that pays 8% simple interest. And we know that the formula for simple interest is given as SI equal to P times R times T all into 100. Okay? And from this question, we know that P represents a man invests 15,000 naira. So this stands for 15,000. Then R, which is the rate, from here we know that it is what? 8%. And T, which is the time, which represents 3 what? Years. So let's simply solve this here. We know that SI is equal to P represents 15,000 times R, which is the rate, which is 8, times time, which is 3, all into 100. Okay, so this is going to cancel out this we cancel out this, and we have this to be 150 times 8 times 3. Okay, so with that, we know that SI, which is a simple interest, is going to give us 150 times 8 times 3 is going to give us 3,600, and we have this to be the simple interest. Let's take a look at another example question. Alright, this question says, if the simple interest on 20,000 naira for 5 years is 5,000 naira, find the rate of interest per annum. So we are asked to find the rates. We are given the simple interest, we are given the principal, and we are given the years. We are to solve for the rate. And we all know that the formula for simple interest is given as P times R times T over 100. Okay, we have this to be 100. And from this question, the simple interest if the simple interest on 20,000 naira for 5 years is 5,000, so from this we know that the simple interest is 5,000. Next, for the principal, we know that the principal is 20,000 naira, so we have this to be 20,000, and the years, which is T, is 5 years. Now we are asked to look for the rate, which is unknown, so we do not know what the rate is. So the first thing we want to do is to make arrow the subject of formula for this, and if we make arrow the subject of formula, arrow is equals to SI times 100 over P times T. Okay, so this is the formula for it. So applying this, we know that SI is 5,000 times 100 divide P is 20,000 times T, which is what? 5 years. So if we solve this right here, we are going to have this to be 0 is going to cancel out the 0, 0 is going to cancel out the 0, 0 here is going to cancel out the 0, and we have 5 times 100, which is going to give us 500 over 20 times 5 is going to give us 100. And dividing this right here, we know that R is equal to 5%. Okay, so we have been able to find the rate of this. So the rate of this question is 5%. Let's take a look at another example. Alright, so we have this question here that says, Jean deposited $1,200 in a savings account that earns 3% simple interest annually. How much will he have in the account after 4 years? So we want to simply know the amount John is going to have in his account after 4 years. So the first thing, we know the formula for simple interest is given as P times R times T over 100. And from this we know that P is the principal, which is 1,200. We have the principal to be 1,200, the rate to be 3%, and the time to be 4 years. Okay, so let's simply add this together. So we have that SI is equal to 1,200 times 3 times 4 divide 100. This is going to cancel out this will cancel out this, and we have this to be 12 times 3 times 4, and we have the simple interest to be $144. Okay, so let's see how much will he have in his account after 4 years. So for us to be able to solve the total amount he's going to have in his account after 4 years, we want to make use of this that says total amount is equal to principal plus interest. Okay, so this is a formula for that, and we know that from this part we know that the principal is $1,200, so we have this to be 1,200 plus the interest, we have it to be $144, and this is gotten from this point right here. So from this, if you add this together, we have this to be $1,344. So this is the total amount of money he's going to have after 4 years. So lastly, let's take a look at the last example question. Alright, so we have this question here that says a loan of £2,500 is taken at a simple interest rate of 6% per annum. If the total repayment after 3 years is $2,950, find the interest paid and the principal. So the first thing we want to do is to simply look for the interest paid. Okay, so for us to be able to know the interest paid, we want to know that total amount is equal to principal plus interest. Alright, so this is the formula for this, and in order for us to be able to look for the interest, we want to simply make interest the subject. So we know that interest is equal to total amount minus the principal. So let's solve for the interest. Alright, so the total amount from this question is £2,950. Now, what does that mean? If the total repayment, now you can either make use of the word repayment or total amount, is the same formula. This can be either total amount or total repayment. So we are all talking about the same thing right here. So the total repayment here is £2,950. So we have this to be 2,950 minus the principal. Now the principal of this is £2,500. So minus 2,500, and we have this to be, if they subtract this, we have this to be 450 what? Pounds. Now we have been able to get in the interest. So let's simply check if what we have solved right here is actually correct, following the normal process of simple interest. Now this is just a short method I use in solving that. So let's simply follow the normal method that says we know that SI is equals to P times R times T over 100, whereby we have T from the question, which is the principal, we have this to be 2,500, and we have the time. Let's take a look at the question. We have the time to be 3 years and the rate to be 6. So the time here is 3 and the rate is 6. So putting this here, we have that SI is equal to 2,500 times 3 times 6 over 100. So this is going to cancel out this. This will cancel out this, and we have this to be 25 times 3 times 6. So SI, which is the simple interest, is going to give us 25 times 3 times 6 is going to give us 450. And this is the answer. So guys, this is how you can easily solve some questions right here on simple interest. And guys, if you are not yet subscribed to Mathematical Mindset, I do not know what you're waiting for. Simply tap on the subscribe button, turn on your post notification to all so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. And with this guys, I'm going to see you in the next video.